Oi oi, alright, how's it going? I'm Grant, you're you, and this is Doodle Review. We're a channel that reviews albums from a wide range of genres, but on Sundays, in particular, on Sundays we talk about jazz. It's the Sunday Jazz Club. This week we're talking about two albums that were released months apart in 2023 by Spencer Zahn, Statues 1 and Statues 2. Now, these records kind of sit more in the world of neoclassical than they do jazz, but if you're into jazz, I've just got no doubt that you'll like these, so let's get into it. It was actually his 2022 collaboration with Dawn Richard that alerted me to the music of Spencer Zahn. Although disappointed by that record, because as a fan of Dawn Richard I found her spoken word contribution to be a bit rote and a bit distracting, Zahn's compositions really stood out, and I made a note to check out his future work. But it seems like I kind of reneged on that deal with myself slightly, because Zahn had already released 2 records in 2023 prior to me even getting to the first Statues release. His first one was Short Drive Home in February 2023, and most intriguingly, A Visit to Harry's House, which was a neoclassical free jazz interpretation of the Harry Styles record Harry's House. And although his prolific approach appears difficult to keep up with, my initial instinct to follow Zahn's work did prove to be on the money, because Statues 1 emerged as one of my absolute favourite instrumental records of last year. The album is just piano, feels as though it was recorded in live time, and is beautifully raw. You can often hear Zahn's breathing, arms moving, or just various ambient noises that bring a whole new dynamic to songs like Lawns and the more energetic I Used to Run. Songs feel both sparse, like they're suggesting vocals on top that aren't there. For some reason, I think of Randy Newman at the start of Lullaby for My Dog Every Time, where others take you on a very distinct melodic journey. Curious Frame is my favourite on the album. The central refrain with this 2-note kind of response to the preceding chord is so perfectly melancholic and a beautiful motif or character to follow across the arc of the performance. Overall, this is an incredible 30 minutes of music. I'd give it an 8.8 out of 10. So just a few months later, Zahn followed up that fantastic record with another, Statues 2. Arriving in November, this record literally dropped 3 months after the first entry, and to my mind it's equally as brilliant, if not just a hair better. Initially, when approaching the second record, I was prepared for another sparse 30-minute set of piano pieces, which, given how great the first one was, I was completely down with. However, what we get on Statues 2, while still capturing the calm sparseness of the first, is an album with a really wide range of instrumentation, refined production, textures, layers, and expansive arrangements. Whereas the first entry in this double record was a very raw, intimate performance from Zahn alone, this record sees the pianist joined by multiple contributors, including Spencer Ludwig and Chris Bullock on horns, which automatically find this record fall more within the world of jazz than neoclassical. This contrast of the two styles makes the whole Statues experience one that is completely engaging front to back. Across parts 1 and 2 we get this whole stylistic evolution which imbues the collection with its own little self-contained narrative. Changes in 3 parts is the first track on this record, and it opens things with an immediately captivating chord progression played on this electric piano that both kind of draws you in while having a layer of artifice compared to the warm, organic sound of an upright or acoustic piano, which we get much later on in that track. And there are multiple layers introduced, like the piano and even bass, that all kind of harmonise and set the stage for the horns that come in and then start the evolution of this track from light to dark. This track really lives up to its name changes in 3 parts, because by the end there are synths, there are drums. It really ends in a completely different place than where it started, but you never feel lost the entire time it's on. The progression and evolution we hear on that first track, the balancing of textures and of light and dark, is something we see throughout the record, whether it's the digital beats and drum programming of high touch, or the distortion and static kind of sounds we hear on Wind Unsung. Like Statues 1, this album is succinct at just 28 minutes long, but is just incredibly engaging and captivating, whereas the first entry's power is in its intimacy. Statues 2 is all about dynamism and collaboration and is fantastic, and this one is a 9.2 from me. Alright, that's enough of my chatting fraff about the music. What do you think? Have you heard it? Let me know. I really want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, share some thoughts, show some love, or just help some abuse in the comments. You know, there are other videos linked in the description that you might like, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next week for Sunday Jazz Club. Cheers, mate. Bye.